Hey guys, it's Matsuhuka here. I'm back, at least for a while. I don't know how often I'll be making videos. I'm really busy. I've got school and whatnot. Lots of homework and sports and such. So I won't be making a ton of videos. I also will not be doing readings for a while because of that. I might end up doing readings later on, but for now I'm not going to. Continuing. So, this is something that's been bugging me since the beginning of the school year. So, about a month and a half. 2 months almost. No. And I'm taking world history, which includes ancient as well as classical history. And I have a problem with this because of the way it's taught. So, when you're talking about ancient and classical world history, you're talking about mythology, you're talking about ancient gods that 14% of the American population believes in still. It's a not really a well-known fact, but it's a fact. 14 or 15% of Americans still believe in those, or they are polytheistic. So, my teacher, she is a college professor. We have a couple of those in our school. So, she teaches as if it is fake and no one believes in it. And I pointed that out to her that a very large, actually, percentage of American population is polytheist. It may seem like not a lot because it's only 14-15%, but that's the other 85% of America isn't Christian. A small amount is Christian, a small amount is Buddhist, a small amount is Muslim, a small amount is Jewish. And polytheism is pretty high up there and for one singular belief system. So, yes. That's essentially, it seems like a small number, but it really isn't. So, continuing on to what I was saying. I pointed that out to her. And I also pointed out a lot of things, and of course the textbook we're using, I pointed out that a lot of that stuff is incorrect. It was interpreted wrong, or described wrong, or glorified, or made it seem nicer. It seems like a lot of textbooks tend to do that. They seem to make ancient civilizations and ancient gods, they tend to glorify them, make them these very nice gods, or in the case of the gods of death and stuff, they make them very evil. They're not. Not all of them. To me, it includes Hades. I think everyone sees him as the bad guy, but I think he's not. So, continuing on. So she teaches it's like all fake to her. And another thing that really bugged me the other day, we were talking about reincarnation, because we're talking about the Hindi gods right now. And she's like, if reincarnation was real, say people did believe in it. I was like, people still do. She's like, does anyone here even believe in that stuff? And everyone else is like, no. So you know what, I'm not going to say anything. My friends know I do. And a lot of that stuff she says, and everyone else thinks it's fake, and everything that she's talking about, curses and magic, hexes, amulets, talismans, those things. She's like, they're fake, they're not real, and everything like that. And, I mean, I've given her hints. I've given her plenty of hints that I am polytheistic. We had to do an essay, for Egyptian. We were doing an Egyptian project, and it's, what would you put in your tomb? And so I specifically said I would put an altar. I would put several altars with different, honoring different gods. And I put the names of the gods I was putting in there, like Nyx, Erebus, and I even put a couple well-known Greek deities in there, So she got the hint, but I don't think she did. That or she doesn't really want to recognize it. A lot of my friends say she's very, very, very Catholic, so. But yeah, that really bugs me, how she teaches that. And how, it's like, oh, that's not real. It's blasphemy. Which brings me to another point. I have a book I'm reading. It's called Supernatural. It's essentially the history of spiritualism and the belief of magic and polytheism, ghosts, and supernatural creatures. It's not necessarily a dictionary of them, though. And essentially, it's just like the history of it and different cases that people believe there was a real werewolf or a real vampire, etc. And I was reading it in physics because I had finished my test. With some time to spare, so I was like, hey, let's get a book out and read. Which is what I usually do anyways, because it's quiet and no one stares at you for having a computer out. So, I was reading it. My physics teacher comes along. He's like, you know that stuff's not real, right? It's all fake. There's no such thing as supernatural creatures. There's no such thing as magic or God or anything like that. And I just looked at him. And I looked around the room to see if anyone else heard it. They didn't. That I was just ignoring it. And I looked at him and I said, yeah. But I think it's interesting. It's compelling. Makes you think. And that was the end of it. But it really bugs me. To be honest, it's not like huge, but it's annoying. And it kind of bugs me because then you give people hints that I am pagan, or just come out straight with it and say, yeah, I'm pagan. I believe in that stuff. But some people don't get the hint at all, which really bugs me. And then on top of that, really quickly, in world history, I take the gods and the mythology very seriously because I believe in it. To me, it's true. And no one else does, and that gets on my nerves. It's like, we're talking about Shiva, or Shiva, however you choose to pronounce it. I choose Shiva, but the rest of my class is Shiva. So she has a third eye that, actually go either way. But, he has a third eye, and it shoots out fire to destroy things. So one of my friends, he's like, just stab him in the eye. And I was thinking, I was like, okay, it's not out of mocking. And he doesn't really understand the whole theory of it. So I was like, I'll let it slide. And then the rest of the class agreed. And so then she asked me what my opinion was. I said, well, it's God. You're supposed to respect them. It doesn't matter what they are of. It's the personification of that. So destruction is necessary. Death and destruction is not necessarily a bad thing. It's good. In many ways. And so we had a long conversation about that. And then quickly wrapping this up, the one teacher I do love is my Latin teacher. He's polytheist. And it's awesome. I was around my pentacle, he's like, marry meat. It's like, not necessarily Wiccan, just pagan. It's like, I see. And so it's nice, especially because there's a teacher who shares the similar beliefs to me. He has an altar to Pan in his office, which is freaking awesome. So I just thought I would share that with you guys, and I'm almost out of time. So I will leave, and I will leave you with Blessed Be. Thanks for watching, guys.